All right, we back. We back with another Yap session. Lil Yappy Vert, Yapparoonies. We here. What I want to talk about today, and I ain't gonna lie, this is a little bit of projection. I ain't gonna hold you. It's essentially the topic of staying on your course, staying on your direction. Basically, why you make the art you make, whether it's music, food plating, sculpting, whatever that is. Why are you making it? And the reason why I ask why is because it's so easy to get caught up in so many of these other facets of creating, especially in today's day and age. And I think this is probably relevant for any time period. It's just looked different. And maybe sometimes we look at the past with rose tinted glasses and be like, oh, artists didn't have to do all of this stuff to get their stuff heard. They were just found in a pizza shop or whatever. But realistically, we have a lot of mediums where we can put our art out, and it's really dope and it's really accessible. I make music in my bedroom. I've learned, I'm pretty much self-taught. So, that stuff is cool. But I know as a result, there's a lot of saturation. So it's what are all the tips and tricks to get your stuff heard and all that stuff. And all that stuff's important. Don't get me wrong. That stuff's important. All right. Don't get me wrong. That stuff's important. But I think the real important thing is understanding why you're making the music that you're making, right? Is it because it's fulfilling? Is it a way for you to express yourself? Is it just fun? Is it a way to stretch that creative muscle? Enter that left side of the brain? Why? What is your purpose for making it? And the only reason I ask that is because, like I said earlier, it's so easy to get caught up in all that stuff. I'm projecting a little bit here because, I'm guilty of this. But when we look at the numbers or analytics or oh, my song didn't go viral or no one's really appreciating my art piece for whatever it is. It's we're kind of getting lost in it. Yeah, obviously we want to make music or whatever your art is so people can enjoy it. You want people to enjoy it and listen to it. And that's totally valid. And I think that's important. Of course it's important. But it's okay, why? Why? And holding on to that anchor on why is super important. And I think not only will that help you stay on course so you don't get discouraged, but it'll really help you connect with the people who you're supposed to connect with, what's a stream? What's a view? What is all that? It's a number is going up on my screen. Obviously there's real life impact. I get it. Right? And it could be a measure of some form of success, but what does that mean? We know there's stories of people who have crazy viral whatever, and they don't really have anything to do with it, a foundation or of people who really like their artistry for, what it is. And then on the opposite end, we have individuals who have a really strong culty fan base where they can feel and see the impact of what they're doing, even if they're not the most known. What initially made me spark this thought or want to have this yap sesh between you and I, me and you, or if you're in a group, then all y'all. What really made me want to talk about this was my favorite rapper of all time, MF Doom. A few weeks ago, the project Madvillainy with Madlib just went gold. 20 years later, just went gold. When I was growing up and that came out, that was one of the most prolific albums to hit the underground rap scene. And not to we're oh, I'll listen to him first. I was listening to Doom pretty, I think relatively early compared to, a lot of people who like him now. When people would ask who my favorite artist was and I say MF Doom, people were like, who? So it was kind of in there, but also I got put on popping in the internet, blogs, all that, probably 2008ish. But yeah, that project, Madvillainy, it's not even my favorite one, but I like it. I like it. No, don't kill me. I like it. But that project is to this day, to a lot of the sounds that we hear in that niche of hip hop is monumental, right? One of the top albums, and it just hit gold. there's albums that hit gold that we don't even remember. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, what is that? What we do have is we know Doom's legacy lives on. We see it in a lot of different mediums of art, a lot of different ways of creating, you know. That project had impact and people felt it. It inspired so many individuals. And it's like, that's all we can really ask for, right? Obviously, this is gonna, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for whatever you do. I know, like, it's something I keep in mind. I create alternative, experimental, vaporwave, art pop, psychedelic, hip hop, genre bending stuff. So a lot of traditionalists or people who don't think they're traditionalists think my stuff is a little crazy, and I don't blame them. But it's like the people who really rock with what I'm doing, they really rock with it. And I really appreciate that. And I like literally feel that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I may be getting caught up like, oh, woe is me. I only have like 400 monthly listeners. First of all, last year, I would have been hyped to have that. I think last year, around this time, I maybe had like 30. Like, and it's a slow growth, it's a slow grind. But like, what does that even mean? The important thing is I have people telling me that they like my music. I have people DMing me saying they're inspired by it. I have people who are just saying it's inspiring them to create in general. You get what I'm saying? Like, the purpose of this is going to vary. But I think understanding that purpose and how you're going to affect people when you create your stuff is super important. And I think keeping that in mind and not getting caught in the like, oh, my TikTok didn't do good today. Oh, my Instagram reel did bad. Or like that one person said something bad. Like, I get it. I trust. I really do. But we just have to stick to the code. Stick to the code. Understand, like I said, that purpose. Write it down. Connect with people. I think something that made me really happy was I started connecting with people in like communities. Like, I vibe with their stuff, they vibe with mine, and it's like kind of like a cool thing because like we have similar interests in terms of what we like, creating, and I get to share my creations with them and vice versa, and that was just cool because it's just people creating things. It's like a community thing. Like, I don't know. It's almost like when you just play those competitive video games and you don't want to go pro, but you're just like happy that you're with people. You get what I'm saying? I guess I'm saying just remember why you make this stuff. Like, please don't get discouraged. Please keep going. Please keep improving. We're not going to be perfect. The things we're going to do aren't going to be perfect. Everything is a growing process and we're going to fail along the way. But that's what makes this part dope. That's what makes this thing dope. Failing. You should listen to some of my old mixes, man. I mean, a few years later, I'll probably say some of that about that now, but that's not the part that's important. It's that you're doing it. You feel me? You feel me? So, what do we learn? Take out your notebook. Take it out. And just write your purpose. Stick to the code. You got this.